The drain waste vent system is pretty simple. The half bath will have a composting toilet. So I put in a drain pipe for the urine diverter. The vertical 2-inch pipe is for the composting toilet compartment exhaust system. I'll mount a muffin fan on the exterior of the cottage. This will create a negative pressure area within the compartment. I don't want to have any penetrations in the roof, so I'll run the vent stack through the wall and then up through the berm. I'm considering not installing a vent stack at all and just using air admittance valves, even though this isn't code. In the kitchen, I have a drain pipe for the sink running through the wall, and to the right is a 1.5 inch pipe for the gas line for the range. We'll have hot and cold water lines running to the sinks in the kitchen and the half bath. I'm using 1/2 inch PEX for both. To limit penetrations in the berm wall, especially low ones, I opted to run the supply lines for the kitchen along one of the beams. Here I'm running the line through the double front wall. There is a 1.5 inch gap between the two walls, which makes doing this significantly easier than having to drill holes through each stud. Back when I had the trench open for the waste line for the cabin septic system, I dropped in a run of 3/4 inch PEX and 1 inch electrical conduit to supply the cottage with power and water. This is where the supply lines from the kitchen and the half bath meet. Later I'll install T's and tie the cold water lines into the 3/4 inch line from the cabin. I'm considering installing a wood-fired water heater for the cottage. More details on that in a future video. I only have this one time lapse of roughing in the electrical. It was by far the most complicated part of the rough-in. I use direct bury underground feeder or UF cable for all my runs in the wall, as the sheathing is more durable than Romex and will be subjected to the stress of cob and light clay straw install. I'll provide some more details about the electrical during the walkthrough coming up next. Alright, so we have the electrical, plumbing, and venting roughed into the exterior walls of the cottage. So hopefully we can start packing some light clay straw and cob later this week or next week. So back when I was doing the septic install, I had a trench open that ran a drain line to the septic tank, and I went ahead and threw in some 3/4 inch PEX into that trench, along with some electrical conduit that will provide power and water to the cottage. This is where the hot and cold water will enter the cottage. I'll have some sort of enclosure on the exterior here, but we have the water lines for the bathroom run to the left, and the water line for the kitchen runs to the right. Here's the electrical box. We've got 5 circuits. We got like a kitchen circuit. There's the fridge. There's the living room. And here's the bath and the bedroom. And I have one for the AC. That's all using the underground feeder cable. So it should be pretty resistant once we put cob and light clay straw on the walls. So once we have the exterior walls infilled with cob or light clay straw, I'll go ahead and build out the interior walls, and they'll just be connected here to these horizontals. I have those over there, and there'll be another interior wall that runs this way towards us. But the idea is we want to go and get those walls infilled as quickly as possible, because it's kind of a slow process. I can probably go about 2 feet at a time before giving the cob probably a week or so to dry out. That's also why I haven't done much to the ceiling. Like, I have wires running up to where my fixtures are. You can see we're in there. That's going to a light that's going to be over the dining room table. There's one over there. It's going to be for the ceiling fan. The idea is while the cob's drying out, or while I'm waiting for the cob to dry out, I'll go do these other things like finish off the ceiling, do the exterior, and do the roof. Here we are in the kitchen. Here's where the sink's going to be. You see I have my hot and cold water supply. Here's where my drain is. Since we're going to have a berm on the other side of this wall, I'm going to put my vent pipe. My vent stack's going to be outside, and it's going to drain out and around the other side through the berm. So we're going to be infilling these walls and these stud bays with, these ones will be infilled with cob. So to do that, we're going to have to put plywood forms, temporary plywood forms on here, like that. Screw them in temporarily, and then infill with cob. So for that purpose, all these fixtures and openings and everything like that, they have to be flush against the front of the studs. So typically if you're doing sheetrock, you'd have your electrical boxes sticking out about 5/8 of an inch or so to accommodate for the sheetrock. In this case, what I'll do is once we got these infilled, I'll put these little extender boxes on. They're about 1/2 inch, and so that's where my plaster will run up to right here. For these pipes, for the drain vent, this is sort of a placeholder. So when I actually do my drain vent, I'm just going to use a slightly smaller pipe. This is 1.5 inch. It's right there, and that's what I'll connect all my sink plumbing into. And these, yeah, I'll just put valves on these. Over here, we have a 1/2 inch black pipe. This is for a propane range. It's going to go like a 2-burner propane range. I'll go here. And then this box is just for the to run power for the igniter for it. And this white pipe just runs up and out, and then the propane tank will be on the other side of the wall.